areas, from our offices to our parks, to our streets. Lord, to those who are first responders who protect us. Lord, those who work in our cities, those who serve even as volunteers that make this a better community. Lord, help us all to work together, love one another, and just continue to develop a wonderful community and neighborhood of just one that cares for each other. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Amen. If you would now join us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, this time I'll open the floor for a public forum. If you'd like to say something, feel free to stand up and talk to us. How are you, ma'am?
Good evening.
Evening.
My name is Karen Tones. I have lived in Andover 70 years. I live on Andover Road, and I'm concerned. I just have a question. Casey's is now 4 houses from me. And I want to know, are we all along my road, Andover Road up to Douglas, going to be zoned commercial? What's the plan for all the houses except mine and the one directly next door to me to the north have been sold to one realtor? And I just want to know what's going on. If we know what's going on.
We have we have no intention of taking anybody's home, if that's what you're
Oh,
asking.
I'm not worried about that in
Uh-huh.
the sense that I don't think the city is
Yeah.
after it. I'm just wondering if it's going to be zoned commercial. Should I wait and sell when it's commercial? Do I want to sell it? I've had someone on my front step quite often,
Mhm.
same person, and I have asked them not to come back.
Okay.
And that has not been sufficient.
Okay.
And so I just wonder what's going on.
It's your home to do with what you want to do. So until you decide otherwise, it's going to be your home.
Well, it has been for 70 years. I don't really intend for it to not be my home.
Mhm.
But I'm just wondering what's happening,
So-
going on. I would like to thank the city for the cleanup of the snow. You made
We,
Andover Road very passable, and that's not always easy.
to be clear, we had nothing to do with buying of those 2 homes. And so that was those folks doing that they sold. So it had nothing to do with the city or the city council.
That's what I'm wanting to be sure that I know.
Yeah.
Because I figure if the city was doing it, it would possibly be eminent domain type thing, and I don't want to lose my house.
No. So we did not do eminent domain on those homes. They must have got a price that they were willing to sell their homes, and then we rezoned it to.
Well, I
do-
hope they got more than what they've offered me.
Well, keep telling them no, hon.
All right,
All
then.
right.
I appreciate it.
And I'm
Thank
sorry
you.
they keep bothering you, and they probably will.
Don't suppose there's anything I can do about that except tell him to get away.
We will discuss that, me and Mr. Buchanan, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you for coming. All right. Anyone else? No? Public forum is now closed. Acceptance of the agenda.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I move to accept the agenda as presented.
Second.
Any further questions or discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion carries 6-0. 7-1 Andover Swim Team Proclamation, and Councilman Phil will read this.
Whereas the Andover High School boys swim and dive team won the 5A state championship.
Hang on 1 second. Yeah.
You guys, all the swim team, come on up. Sorry, Phil.
You're good. Whereas the Andover High School boys swim and dive team won the 5A state championship for the third year in a row. And whereas the Kansas 5A boys state swim meet was held on Saturday, February 22nd, 2025 at the Shawnee Mission School District Aquatic Center. And whereas this was Andover High School's third straight state championship, finishing with a score of 318, 108 more than the second place Cape and Mount Carmel. And whereas sophomore Clark Young also took an individual championship in the 200 individual medley. And whereas the Andover High School team is coached by Kelsey Biebighauser, therefore I, Phil Hamilton, with the City Council assembled in regular session on the 11th day of March 2025, hereby proclaim March 12th, 2025, Andover High School Boys Swim Team Day.
Okay, don't go anywhere, guys.
So what was Clark's time?
156 point something.
Wow, that is awesome.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, so yeah, all of Andover goes to.
Congratulations.
Like their tennis.
Thank you so
comes
much.
to us.
That was right. It was a spike.
And
Do they have baseball teams?
In the back. Behind the varsity JV. and
You get two of them.
softball.
Okay.
Yeah, JV.
All right. 8-1 Firefighter Year of the Year donation, and Chief Russell.
Yes, thank you so much, Mayor and Council. We do not have a state championship. That's pretty cool. But we do want to bring back up your firefighter of the year, Kevin Taylor. Former Mayor Ben Lawrence, owner of Collision Center of Andover, reached out to me and wanted to do something really nice. He wanted to make a donation in the name of firefighter Taylor. And when I asked him, he said unequivocally he would like to donate to Sunlight Children's Services. So with that,
Nice. Good evening, Mayor and Council. I just decided this year that Collision Center of Andover is going to embark on a charitable giving. Just once a month, we're going to pick a local charity. I'm letting other people pick them right now, but we just want to give back to the community a little bit. I know there's a lot of people that are in need. A lot of organizations, great organizations, such as the one tonight that's with me that I'm presenting this to. Just need a little help, and we want to let you know that we're here to do that. Tonight's winner, Kevin picked Sunlight Children's Services for this award, and I'd like to present them with a $1,000 check on behalf of your firefighter of the year. Guys, and lastly, we'll see you all at the Buckaroo Ball, right? Everybody's got their tickets and tables? All right. April 26th.
Buckaroo Bowl.
Thank you very much. Consent agenda 9-1 through 9-9.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I move to approve the consent agenda items 9.1 through 9.9 as presented.
Second.
Any further questions or discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion carries 6-0. 10-1. Let me get my little doodad out here. All right. This is a PUD amendment for Cornerstone, case number Z-PUD 25-0001. This is an application to amend the Cornerstone Planned Urban Unit Development. Try this one more time. This is an application to amend the Cornerstone Planned Unit and Development Plan, generally located at North Savannah, is that how you say it? Street, Andover, Kansas. Before we proceed with the hearing, I'll ask council if any of them intend to disqualify themselves from participating in this case because of a conflict of interest.
No.
No.
I will now ask the council if any of them have received any ex parte verbal or written communication prior to this agenda item, which they would like to share.
No.
No.
Has the city clerk received any protest petitions on the case?
No, sir.
I now ask council members if they have all received copies of the draft minutes of the Planning Commission for February 18th, 2025, which summarizes the hearing of the case.
Yes.
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 I will now call on Director of Community Development, Les Mangus, to provide us with a report on the case.
Mr. Mayor and Council, this amendment may look a little familiar to you. A few months ago, you heard one very similar to it. The developer is asking for some reductions to the side and the rear setbacks across this Cornerstone 5th edition that's already platted. They're building duplexes as we speak. Their house plans are a little larger than the building envelope would allow without this amendment. So they're asking to reduce the rear yard setbacks pretty much across the board on all lots, as well as a minor adjustment in the side yard setbacks. It's about a 9.5 acre tract. Planning Commission held the required public hearings and recommends approval as it was submitted. I see Phil Myers out there in the audience if you have any questions of the applicant.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
Les or Phil, but doing this change, how much does that add from the previous approved plot?
This change actually kind of overlaps onto those that were already approved. It applies a 10-foot rear yard around the exterior perimeter of the entire subdivision. The exterior perimeter abuts open space, whether it be park or drainage way, and also reduces the interior rear yard to 15 feet on those lots that are on the interior of this loop.
But how many units does it change doing this versus the other way? Does it get, I thought in the notes it had the reason that you're doing this is to have more density.
It's not more residential density, it's more lot coverage.
Okay.
There are no more,
So there's no more
There are no
units. They're just
additional
increasing
units.
the square footage.
it's a
Living
larger
space.
house, not a larger number of houses.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Have any written communications been received to the court clerk?
No, sir.
City clerk, I'm sorry. Does the applicant wish to present any new information? We would like to welcome anyone interested in this agenda item to come to the podium and give your name and address. Please limit your comments to 3 minutes. The governing body has been provided the draft minutes and the video of the public hearing has been made available. So please limit your comments to information not previously shared at the public hearing held on February 18, 28. Does anyone from the public have any new information? No, they do not. The application, does the applicant have any further response to public comments? There weren't any. Assuming the council has received all the information they need on this case, you have received an outline of choices provided under the state statutes for council action KSA 12-757C. Council, how do you wish to act?
Mr. Mayor,
Yeah.
I move to adopt the planning commission's findings of fact and recommendation to approve zoning case PUD 2025-01, amending the Cornerstone Edition preliminary PUD plan to modify required building setbacks in parcel 14.
Second, Hamilton.
Any further questions or discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion carries 6-0. Persons aggrieved by this final decision of the council on this matter have 30 days after today's action within which to appeal to the district court. Right, 11-1, preliminary PUD Vista Ridge 1. Or first. Case number Z-PUD 25-0003. This application is an application to establish the Vista Ridge First Planned Unit Development Plan generally located at 1616 East Central Avenue, Andover, Kansas. Before we proceed with this hearing, I'll ask council if any of them intend to disqualify themselves from participating in this case because they have conflict of interest.
No.
I will now ask council if any of them have received any ex parte verbal or written communications prior to the agenda item that they would like to share.
No.
No.
Has the city clerk received any protest petitions on the case?
No, sir.
I now ask the council members if they have all received copies of the draft minutes of Planning Commission for February 18, 2025, which summarizes the hearing on the case.
Yes.
Yes.
I now call on the city community development director, Les Mangus, to provide us with a report on this case.
Mr. Mayor and council, before you tonight is a zoning case to establish a new planned unit development on about 20 acres plus or minus north of Central Avenue and west of Yorktown Parkway. This is a single-family subdivision. Lot sizes in excess of 10,000 square feet. Pretty much designed around the existing street pattern that later in the agenda, you'll see the bid award for Yorktown Parkway and the adjoining Waterview and Woodstone streets. I think Brian Lindeback is out there in the audience on behalf of the applicant. If you have any specific questions, he could answer those. Your planning commission did recommend unanimously the approval of this planned unit development plan.
Are there any questions for zoning administrator or nobody? Thank you, Les. Have any written communications been received by the city?
No,
Clerk.
sir.
Does the applicant wish to present any new information? All right, thank you, sir. We would like to welcome everyone interested in this agenda item to come to the podium and give your name and address. Please limit your comments to 3 minutes. The governing body has been provided the draft minutes and the video of the public hearing has been made available. So please limit your comments to information not previously shared at the public hearing held on February 18th, 2025. Does anyone from the public have any new information? We have no one from the public here. Does the applicant wish to respond to the public comments? There weren't any. Assuming the council has received all the information they need on this case, how do you have received an outline of the choices provided under the state statutes for council action KSA 12-757C. Council, how do you wish to act?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I move to adopt the findings of fact and recommendation of the planning commission to approve case Z PUD 25-0003, establishing the Vista Ridge First Edition preliminary PUD plan with an underlying SF2 single-family residential medium-density zoning district.
Second.
Any further questions or discussion?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I want to ask a non-zoning question.
Yeah.
Brian, do you have a second? Will this be a continuation of the style of homes of Crescent Lakes? Or is this going to be substantially different?
I don't know that I can speak to the style of homes. It's up to the developer to choose the style of home that he wishes. The PUD doesn't specify any architectural controls. So with that, I mean, it's like many other single-family neighborhoods in the community. I'm sorry, I probably should introduce myself. Brian Lindeback, MKEC Engineering, 411 North Webb Road, on behalf of the owner and applicant. So yes, it's much like most other communities where they don't have specific architectural controls. Now, that said, the developer will likely have his own covenants. I do believe he's planning to do so. So that's what I have to say about that.
I know this is zoning. That's, trying to keep it to that, but was just, curious that the, not design style, but it would fit with the existing neighborhoods it's getting ready to connect to. So I'm assuming the owner is wanting to do something like that.
Yeah, the owner is in the real estate business. I think he desires to sell these homes as quickly as possible, as soon as they're built. And I think having things in a continuity of the neighborhood would be best for the neighborhood. And so I think probably that's the extent that I could speak to that.
Okay.
But yeah, I think the desire is to make nice houses that'll be cohesive to the neighborhood.
Okay. Can you tell me can you remind me who the developer will be for that?
It's Pinnacle Builders.
All right, thank you.
Any other questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion carries 6-0. Where's Ronnie at? Persons aggrieved by the final decision of the council on this matter have 30 days after today's action within which to appeal to the district court. Onward and upward. All right.
Mr. Mayor, I have a quick question for Les. I guess I should ask this. It doesn't have anything to do, I guess, zoning, but is this going in while Yorktown is being built, or is it the Yorktown has to come first and then this comes, or what's the time frame? Or do we know, I guess?
Good question. We're actually working with both of the developers, Vista Ridge first and Vista Ridge second, to install a lot of the utility connections with the Yorktown Parkway project. And then they will have their own independent petitioned improvements for internal water, sewer, and streets.
Okay,
But
perfect.
I'm going to say that completion will probably be about the same time.
Okay, thank you.
Cool. Did you just say there's two different developers?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. 11-2 preliminary PUD Vista Ridge second edition. Case number Z PUD 25-0002. This is an application to establish the Vista Ridge second planned unit development plan, generally located at 1616 East Central Avenue, Andover, Kansas. Before we proceed with the hearing, I'd like to ask council if any of them intend to disqualify themselves from participating in this case because of conflict of interest.
No.
No.
I will now ask council if any of them have received any ex parte verbal or written communication prior to the agenda item which they would like to share.
No.
Has the city clerk received any protest petitions on the case?
No, sir.
I now ask the council members if they have all received copy of the draft minutes of the Planning Commission for February 18th, 2025, which summarized the hearing of the case.
Yes.
Yes.
I will now call on City's Community Development Director, Les Mangus, to provide us with a report on the case.
Mr. Mayor and Council, this subdivision is on the east side of Yorktown Parkway, just north of Central Avenue. Again, it's a single-family planned unit development. Lot sizes are a little bit different than the Vista Ridge First Edition. This planned unit development will allow lot sizes down to 8,500 square feet, which is the minimum for the SF2 district, while averaging over 10,000 square feet per lot. Again, it's a single-family residential planned unit development, makes good use of Yorktown Parkway with 2 intersections and access control to Yorktown Parkway. If you have any specific questions, Phil Meyer, again, is out there in the audience. Your Planning Commission did recommend unanimously to approve the planned unit development plan.
So now Mike's got me wondering, how much different are the houses across the street going to be than,
Yeah.
you know? I'm just wondering about the aesthetics of having 2 completely different developments on the opposite side of the street. I know we don't control that, but it's just piques my curiosity to, will it blend in together or?
Yeah, I'm kind of hoping it'll be the same price range of homes. I mean, if it is, then it would blend most likely. But if they're going to be trying to sell them as quickly as possible to make more money, they could be lesser material involved. And I know that's not what we're talking about tonight, but it definitely made me curious too. So,
Well, I think it gives a variety too for the area, similar to Cornerstone. I mean, we just approved bigger duplexes right across from single family homes.
Okay.
And then also in Cornerstone to the east of the development we just talked about, I believe they're like similar to the Heritage kind of smaller houses and up,
That's
whatever
true.
you want to call that.
just don't want
And
to
then-
devalue the homes that they're connecting next to.
Well, I mean, I think Les, you said first is average 10,000, which is roughly a quarter of an acre, right? And this one, you said the average cumulatively is 10,000 per.
Right.
So,
The average in Vista Ridge First is more along the lines of 12,000. In Vista Ridge Second, the average is 10,000, which is the typical size of single-family residential lots in Andover.
It was just curious. I know my mind wanders sometimes. All right, where was I at? Any other questions? Have any written communications been received? Did I already do that?
No, sir.
Oh, we did that already. That's less, right? Does the applicant wish to present any new information? No? Oh,
Phil Meyer with Boffman Company, agent for the applicant. My first answer is no, I don't, but I just hear some questions from council, so I'll see if I can help. Both the developer of Vista Ridge Second and the developer of Vista Ridge have been talking together, communicating. They each know what they're each building. Neither of these developments are starter homes, which the value of the home really isn't a zoning conversation, but if it puts your mind at ease, neither one are starter homes. And if he knows today's market, then you know they're going to be mid-range price houses. Blend in very nice with the area. I don't think there's any conflict with what's going on in Crescent Lakes to the east. I think they all blend together nicely. Now, architectural style, I can't answer that, but value, they'll be appropriate. Hopefully that helps some of your concerns.
I think more of the value. I mean, yes, you could have some different architectural styles, which is, fine. for a different neighborhood that's not called Crescent Lakes. But the value is really the thing that really stands out. And I'm glad to hear you say that they're not starter homes. So hopefully that means will be a somewhat equivalent or more than what they're connecting to the west. So
I'm good with
I'm
that.
sure that the Crescent Lakes people who own those homes through there would probably appreciate to kind of hear that too. So.
All right. Thank you, sir. We would like to welcome everyone interested in this agenda item to come to the podium and give your name and address. Please limit your comments to 3 minutes. The governing body has been provided the draft minutes, and the video of the public hearing has been made available, so limit your comments to information not previously shared at the public hearing held on February 18th, 2025. Does anyone from the public have any new information? And there's no one from the public here, so the answer is no. Does the applicant have any further response to the comments? Again, public comments, again, there's no public here. Assuming the council has received all the information they need on this case, you have received an outline of the choices provided under state statutes for council action, KSA 12-757C. Council, how do you wish to act?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I move to adopt the findings of fact and recommendation of the planning commissions to approve case Z PUD 25-0002, establishing the Vista Ridge Second Edition preliminary PUD plan with an underlying SF2 single-family residential medium-density zoning district.
Second.
Any further questions or discussion? Is that right? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion carries 6-0. Persons aggrieved by the final decision of the council on this matter have 30 days after today's action within which to appeal to the district court. 12-1 Yorktown Parkway, Central Avenue to 13th Street bid award, and Les will speak to us about this.
Mr. Mayor and Council, we're happy to bring to you tonight the bid award for the Yorktown Parkway project. Like a Steven Spielberg movie, this is 3 years in the making. We're finally to the finish line. We have a bid that is 20% below the engineer's estimate. We would recommend that you accept the bid from Pearson Construction, and we'll get started on this legendary project.
Do we have any questions?
Mr. Mayor?
Yeah.
I don't have any questions. I move to accept the lowest qualified bid from Pearson Construction LLC, Wichita, Kansas, in the amount of $6,359,192.76, and reject all other bids and authorize the mayor to sign the contract for the Commerce Street, Yorktown Parkway, Central Avenue to 13th Street paving, incidental drainage, and water improvements project.
Second, Barry.
Any further questions or discussion?
I do have, I guess, more of a clarification, Les. So this will be Yorktown from Central all the way to 13th Street, connecting Commerce, and then the 2 streets in Crescent Lakes as well, correct?
Correct.
Okay, I just wanted, for people who are listening, basically Central to 13th with connections between here and there. Perfect.
And then, Mr. Mayor, I do have a question for Les. When it comes, I mean, I think it was Tim that brought it up earlier in regards to, what happens first, the chicken or the egg. Is there issues with having the road built before construction on, I just look at like big rigs coming in and bringing in the wood and that kind of stuff for.
We are likely to come back to you with negotiated prices to have Pearson Construction do the subdivision work. We've started to have some conversations with both developers on this because they could take advantage of the economy of scale of the much larger project, as well as the schedule of our project, also bringing their residential developments along on the same schedule.
Okay.
Rick, would you leave off the last asphalt layer when these are going in, just
So,
since they're all gonna be going in at the same time?
honestly, I'd treat it just like you would any other subdivision project where we complete all the paving and everything, and then we turn it loose to builders to do the builders, we generally do not let builders start building inside as new subdivisions. We don't release them for permits until time is, the roads are in, partially because of the fire code, and the fire marshal and his team really need to be able to get in there in case there is a fire, but also the conflict with if there is any kind of damages to the street, who's covering that while it's, partially done or anything like that. So it's just cleaner if we can get it done. There's been times where we've left the top lift off. It's very rare. I can remember like 15 years ago, we did on one. But I think that was just because winter hit and then we went ahead and let them start building. But I wouldn't recommend that on this necessarily. It's going to treat it like any other street. I mean, it means we'll be in there probably in somewhere over 10 years, maybe 5 years doing some sort of surface treatment, minor surface treatment to keep the life of that longer. But then we'd come in somewhere around 10, 15 years and probably end up doing a more aggressive treatment to the roads, but we do that typically anyway. Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does. Yeah, thank you.
Councilman, the majority of this project is concrete pavement.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's nice.
Any further
Must have got a
questions?
better price on the concrete this time.
Any further questions?
Les, I'm trying to picture this in my head. At Butler Community College, there's that tree row and then there's their parking lot. Did they leave spots in that parking lot open to tie into that road?
Yes, Butler's expansion was designed with Yorktown Parkway in mind. If you get into the details of the plans, the majority of Yorktown all the way up to Butler is a divided 2-lane with dedicated left turn lanes at intersections. But when it gets up there to Commerce Street in Butler, it becomes a 3-lane with dedicated left turn lanes into the college driveways.
If I remember right, there's 4 driveways already built into the plan. And, all right, any other questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion carries 6-0. Stryker Investments, 13-1, Stryker Investments, Yorktown Parkway Soil Relocation Agreement. And I'm sorry, Les is going to talk to us about that.
Stryker Investments is the name of the company developing the Vista Ridge Second Edition. They approached us about the wasting of the excess soils from our Yorktown Parkway project in exchange for building the 2 intersections into their development. We had the city engineer run through the math on that, and he's telling us that this is a deal that comes out in our best interest, that it's actually a savings of tens of thousands of dollars not to have to truck this excess soil away from the project, but rather it can be machine work right on the site to waste on the Vista Ridge 2 project. So we recommend this agreement.
Any questions?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I move to approve the soil relocation agreement with Stryker Investments 2 LLC for the spreading of waste excavation soils from the Yorktown Parkway project on the future Vista Ridge 2 property.
Second.
Any further questions or discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion carries 6-0. Public Works purchase 14-1 Lodge audio and visual equipment and installation.
Mr. Mayor and Council, by the way, I'm glad you approved the project for the Yorktown because we are getting some of that dirt for the Lodge project. So thank you. We needed that dirt. So before you tonight is the first of the several items will be FF&E for the lodge project. Staff has met with the team that'll be using this the most, which is ASM and our events team, and then admin to go over the audio and video portion of this building. It's just over, was it, I don't know, it's 49,000, is that right? I forgot already. $49,902. It is using the audio video company that does pretty much all of our work, and all the systems will be workable. Our IT is comfortable with them. They've worked with our IT on this. They have also done a package for the lodge. We may go ahead and proceed with that the next meeting because they're telling us there is a price increase coming in April, just to avoid that price increase on the equipment. This one includes a dual projector screen that shoots to the east and west walls. And then on the north wall, above, kind of on the wall that would be to the kitchen is an 85-inch screen. So when you're having meetings or presentations in there, you'll be able to see in 3 of the walls, you'll be able to see a presentation of it. The 4th wall is obviously in all glass, so it doesn't work too well to do a 4th wall in there. This package, like I said, is the first of several. At the next meeting, we plan to have a package for the chairs and tables and desk and the furniture type of items that go into this building. And then following that will be one for the outdoor patio furniture and the kitchen. And we'll probably bring those 2 around the same time too. We had planned or told council we've planned about $300,000 for FF&E. I think we're going to be on track, maybe hopefully a little bit under, but haven't seen some of those other numbers. You can spend a lot of money in the kitchen really fast. So, but I think we're on track, and this number is what we recommend proceeding with. I'd stand for any questions if you have any. Oh, I forgot that. Part of the sound system is set up to we can connect to the sound and video from the lodge, but we don't have that connection piece in there. So they're going to pipe out a conduit. Our staff is going to run a conduit down to the back of the stage and tie into a conduit we have already back there that'll allow that connection to be made. And we worked with the ASM's crew and our audio video people work together to make sure that would all work out. We just got to get that fiber connection in.
Rick, kind of to that comment with the conduit, are they going to have to bust up any of the concrete that's existing out there to get there?
No, we will shoot down along the outer ring, cross one of the 10-foot sidewalks, run along it, and then cross a little sidewalk again on there. But we can get across those without busting out. And then at the back of the stage, before the lodge was demolished, we had fiber that went up to the old lodge, would come down and around and come around the backside of the stage, on around and came up there. Right there where it comes up, we can connect to that conduit and run along the back wall over to the control boxes and such. It worked out that way.
Rick, I have a question. So if I'm hosting a sales meeting in the lodge, will there be, can I use a microphone and be able to project? And
Yes.
Okay. I wasn't for sure what all was included in this package.
Yeah, there'll be a full media presentation package included in it.
Perfect. Thank you.
Rick, why not use a projector on all 3 sides?
Well, honestly, sometimes the TV is just a little bit cleaner, and for a smaller screen, especially, the reason you go to the projectors, you can get the really big screens, and the 2 walls there lend itself up to. If you want to go to floor to ceiling, you can go to about a 300-inch screen. Now, a floor to ceiling, it's a 12.5-foot tall ceiling. Might be a little hard to look at unless you're really far back, so you probably wouldn't go that big, but you can go larger than, your normal TV size. But for a lot of times, you can just have that TV over there, and that wall is not quite as big, and it's a little recessed.
And then do you know what size TV this is?
I'm going to guess that's probably a 70-inch or something like that.
Okay, so
it's larger than that.
The main one's going to be larger than
Yeah,
this.
an 85-inch TV is pretty good size.
Rick, do we have any concern about, especially since those those doors are going to be all glass, that the projector, you're not going to be able to see it during the day?
Well, so the way the sun sets and everything, so if it's high noon, obviously it'll be some light coming in. But I think you'll be able to see them. These new projectors are super bright. I mean, they're just bright, right? So I don't have a lot of concern about that. Our video guy wasn't overly concerned. He knew it was all windows over there. I mean, there's no windows on the side, so, you know.
I'm seriously thinking, we could rent this out for sales meetings and stuff during the day. And that's always my biggest concern is when I host these, they have projectors, but they also have a wall of windows and you can't see the screen to begin with. So
Yeah.
I think the TV is a great option. And as long as we can see the two projection screens, I think it's great.
Tim, I think that was a good question because I was just looking at the brands, and LG is a good projector brand. Why wouldn't you also go with LG for the TV as well? And that way, they're all three. They all three can connect.
Well, I mean, they're all going to connect anyway through a media hub. So the brands really don't matter as far as that connectivity goes. They all run back and they connect through more or less like a internal network as a hub in there, a media hub, and that's how they can also connect to the screens out in the at the amphitheater during an event or such. So connectivity is not an issue there as far as that goes. It's what the vendor proposed. I didn't have an issue with, I didn't see a big issue with that as far as, because, we'll probably change the TV down the road and, whatever. But I forgot what I was going to say about that now. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Lost my train of thought.
All right, anyone else?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I move to authorize the purchase of audio and visual system from Wave Service Inc., Derby, Kansas, for the lodge in the amount of $49,902.
Second.
Any further questions or discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion carries 6-0. 15-1, revised animal ordinance. And Les is going to speak to us about this.
Mr. Mayor and Council, after the last revisions to the ordinance were adopted, we had some questions and we've asked the city attorney to make some clarifications to this ordinance. So it's crystal clear that there is no change to where chickens are allowed in the city, that the cumulative number of animals is crystal clear by a formula. So we've made those modifications to the ordinance and we're here again to present that for adoption. If you have specific questions, Jolene is the expert on this.
I have
Mr.
no
Mayor.
personal comments about the chickens at this point.
Mr. Mayor. Jolene, when it does get finalized, if you wouldn't mind just emailing it to me, we had some constituents that had some concerns about HOA stuff in this, so I just wanted to share it with them.
I'd be happy to do so.
Thank you. Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I move to adopt an ordinance amending Chapter 2, Article 1, Section 2-104, Chapter 2, Article 2, Section 2-202, and Chapter 2, Article 6, Section 2-603 of the Code of the City of Andover, Kansas.
Second.
Thank you. Any further questions or discussions about chickens?
No, I mean, I'll make a comment in regards to, this doesn't change the intent and what we've done, all that kind of stuff. It just makes it even more clear than it was before because we've got JT's blessing on this. That's the clerical.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion carries 6-0. 16-1. Sorry. Inside joke. Tyler Technology Software Invoice, and the very humorous Matt is going to talk to us about this tonight. How are you, sir?
Very well, how are you?
Wonderful, thank you.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Matt Kane, Finance Director. For you or request to authorize payment for the annual invoice from Tyler Technologies Tyler Technologies ERP Pro 10 is the city's accounting, utility billing, court management, payroll, and general financial management software. Been on that since 2015, it's going well.
Matt, do you know how much it was when we started? Like the cost, annual cost?
I don't know.
Okay. I just thought that question up, or I would have asked you, emailed you and said, hey, but just kind of curious to know, are we double since 2015 or what?
I can look back and get.
That's fine. And then my next question is, I see it includes some of the justice, some of the judges' fees and stuff like that. Do we not pull, in the statement, it says, you'll transfer some money from the wastewater fund. Do we not pull money out of the judicial fund to help pay for it?
No, because it's both in the general fund. So we
Okay.
pay that.
That's all I got.
Testing. Sorry about that. Anyone else having questions?
Matt, do we just do 1-year renewals with them? We don't lock in anything for multi-year? Is it just year over year?
And is there a reason, Matt, that we go with them as opposed to bidding it out for those that are new to this?
Well, there aren't that many options that can do
What we need?
all the things that we need. And it's giant hassle to change. And they do a good job for us. Oh, I had another point.
Do they interface with court and jail? What are police? Does it interface with those records and stuff? Well, okay, thank you.
Anyone
Miss-
else?
Sorry.
Any other questions?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I move to authorize payment to Tyler Technologies for annual software costs in the amount of $58,477.96.
Second.
Any further questions or discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion carries 6-0. 17-1, non-elected personnel matters, KSA 75-4319B1.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I move to recess into executive session for personnel matters of non-elected personnel pursuant to KSA 75-4319B1. Session include the governing body, city administrator, HR director, assistant city administrator, city attorney, and community development director. The open meeting will resume in the council chambers at 8:05.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion carries 6-0. So, how about you, Tim? You want to start?
I do not have anything tonight. Well, actually, I do. Sorry. So Andover is home to several high school state champions. We recognized one tonight. I think on April 8th, the bowling team's coming in, I believe, for Andover Central. The Trojans won swimming. Andover Central basketball team is going to state. Buck, when is that? You always know the dates. So
Thursday,
when is it?
Thursday.
Thursday. See,
Tomorrow.
I didn't know what day it was. So I'm sure the way that team's playing, they're going to win. So
Andover High boys and girls too.
yeah, Andover High boys and girls. So yeah, that's exciting. So we have a bunch of state, either runners up or champions here in Andover. It's fun. It's freaking fantastic. So if you see any high school kids, tell them congratulations. That's all I got.
I got nothing tonight.
Nothing for me, sir.
Want to tell people out there in the public that Red Clay Strays is almost sold out, and it's not even a concert till September 11th. So if you want to see them, because I hear they're extremely good, because again, they're almost sold out. The only expensive tickets left. So keep an eye on it. The concerts are selling very well. So if you want to see one, don't wait, because they're not going to last. Tickets won't last. And what else was there? I think that's it. Oh, be careful around Andover Road and Douglas and all those areas. We got two roads blocked off, but hopefully we'll get some of the cones down soon, but I can't tell you when. And just be careful until all this is done, please.
Okay. Just want to remind you on Saturday from 8 to 10 is the legislative coffee at the Music Scene event venue. Ty Masterson, Sandy Pickert, and Susan Humphreys will be there. So just wanted to make sure you all remember that. Also, want to wish everyone a happy and safe spring break.
Nothing tonight.
I just want to say, because we don't get to do it often enough, but the other day there was a pretty big accident involving a lot of vehicles at Kellogg and Andover Road. And I just happened to catch the red light there, and I was able to watch the police and the fire and the EMS all working together. And I sat there and I was just impressed again with just the level of, I think, coordination and professionalism and everything that you guys show every day. And so I just got to witness it, but I wanted to tell you guys it's very impressive.
Mr. Mayor and Council, I did want to report out from the Transportation Policy Body meeting today for WAMPO that we will be having, we're actually in the public comment period now for the Metropolitan Transportation Plan 2050. We've shared that on our socials, and we're going to have a speaker during presentations at our next meeting to give that an opportunity for the public here in Andover a little bit closer. They're having a virtual meeting this week. They're having some in-person meetings, but Marky's going to actually come out to your next city council meeting to share that 2050 plan. So I think that will be good for us to have that here locally. And then Rick, I'm putting you on the spot. Do you have the results of the rodeo? Do you want to share our public works operators? And you're going to have to, I can look for the results if you want to talk a little bit about the event.
Yeah, because I can't remember the order of each one of them. So we had our first equipment rodeo. The Public Works National does equipment rodeo, and states chapters can do them too. And then the winners of the state chapters get to go on to the national chapter. Our Kansas chapter has never had an equipment rodeo. So your street manager was from the Kansas City metro area and had done the equipment rodeo up there before and was talking to me about wanting to get that started up down here. And I said, well, hey, I happen to know the president of the APWA, and I bet you can get in and get that done. So we actually got it going and got it organized, and we held ours here, and we have 4, because there was multiple winners. The first 2 places get to go compete in the state level, and the winner of the state level is our local chapter will help pay for their travel to go to Chicago to compete in the national equipment rodeo. Equipment rodeo consisted of a skid steer, a mini X, and a backhoe. And I would also say that we had a special guest operator or contestant, your city administrator, who came in and operated those piece of equipment better than I would have counted on, I guess. But she did fine. She only ruined one piece of the devices there.
I crushed a bucket.
Yeah, a 5-gallon bucket. So, yeah, so it was a fun time. All the guys got to compete, and I think it went really well. And if you got that in front of you,
Got the winners. So the backhoe division, your first place was Tony Usher. Second place,
Of course it was.
I know. So it's like golf. Your low score is winning, right?
correct.
And she had a 0. So that means like she did the best she could do. Andrew Rankin was second place. Derek Sage was third. In Mini X, Andrew Rankin, you're going to hear that name again. First, second place, Derek Sage. Third place, Kyle Johnson. And skid steer, Vern Tripp, who will not be competing at Salina because I believe he's leading the whole thing up. So that must have seemed unfair.
Well, he's actually running the state one too.
So I guess.
He's the
just be
chair of
easy.
the state committee for that.
Second place, Andrew Rankin. So if you picked up on that, Andrew is in all 3 of those categories. And then Lane Cantrell came in third.
Where did you come in?
It would appear I was not
He
scored.
smashed the bucket. That's awesome. Hey, Jenny, Mayor alluded to this. Do you know how all the concerts are going? Are we doing well on the ticket sales for all the concerts?
The Red Clay Strays is doing very, very well, and that one is doing the best. But I will say, even Three Dog Night had outsold Josh Abbott before the end of 2024. So doing very well on all of the sales.
Perfect. The VIPs are selling. I think they're all sold out. If I talked to her the other day, I was really impressed. So, man, and it's unbelievable.
And do we have the chairs? Chairs are like, we're in possession of them?
Like half of the chairs, half, correct, Daniel? So the other half will be coming before the concert
The first
starts.
concert.
So, coming along.
Well, Rick, if you guys ever need volunteers for putting on the excavator things or whatever, I mean, I'd be happy to be a judge or show them what not to do kind of thing.
Sure.
Just like Jenny.
I will keep that in mind. We do need scores to score each one. There's all 3. So, yeah.
All right. Can I give?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I move to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion carries.
What's a mini X? Mini excavator? Oh.